The H1B Guy here, and today the H1B Guy breaks down Senate Bill 3599, the Healthcare Workforce Resilience Act. But before we get started, I'd like to ask you, if you haven't already, to please subscribe to the H1B Guy channel here on YouTube. It helps me to produce more content like this for you. I also wanted to mention that the H1B Guy offers consulting services, whether that be in the form of one-to-one or one-to-many. I can help you with document and evidence review and overall case management. Please reach out to me. I'd love to hear how I can help. Introduced to the Senate floor on May 5th, 2020, the Healthcare Workforce Resilience Act was sponsored by Senator David Perdue from Georgia and co-sponsored by Senator Durbin, Senator Young, Senator Coons, Senator Cornyn, and Senator Leahy. Per Congress.gov, the summary reads, quote, Healthcare Workforce Resilience Act. This bill makes previously unused immigrant visas available to nurses and physicians who petition for such a visa before the date that is 90 days after the end of the declared national emergency relating to COVID-19, i.e. coronavirus disease 2019 outbreak. The number of visas available shall be the total number of unused employment-based immigrant visas from fiscal year 1992 through fiscal year 2020, up to 40,000. Of such visas, 25,000 shall be reserved for nurses and 15,000 for physicians. Certain family members may accompany the principal beneficiary of a visa provided under this bill, and visas for such family members shall 1. Be made available from the unused visas from fiscal year 1992 through fiscal year 2020, and 2. Not be counted against the 40,000 cap. Visas provided under this bill shall be exempt from per-country limitations. Let's break down the full text, starting with quote section 2, recapturing unused immigrant visas for professional nurses and physicians, where in subsection D, recapturing of unused employment-based immigrant visas. S3599 proposes to recapture unused employment-based preferences. I'm assuming these will come from countries that are inside the 7% per country cap on employment-based preferences. Reservations of the visas authorized under subparagraph A include 25,000 for professional nurses and 15,000 reserved for physicians. Here we get right to the numbers that would be allocated. 25,000 for professional nurses and 15K for physicians. These are Schedule A occupations, and most have been on the front lines battling this pandemic here in the U.S. Good to see some common sense being leveraged on these Schedule A occupations. Back to the text. Exemption from country caps. Visas made available under this subsection shall not be subject to the per-country numerical limitation set forth in Section 202A2 of the Immigration and Nationality Act. This is a big one. One of the most highly contested aspects of employment-based preferences for permanent residency has been the per-country quota capped at 7%. While this isn't a blanket provision, it at least acknowledges that per-country caps are wrong for employment-based medical professionals. Continuing on with the text, the number available. Unused visas subject to subparagraph B. The number calculated in this paragraph is the difference between the total number of employment-based visas that were made available in fiscal years 1992 through 2020 and the total number of such visas that were issued in such fiscal years. Okay, so here's how they plan to allocate the recaptured unused visas mentioned under Section 2D. They literally planned to go all the way back to 1992, only 2 years removed from the Immigration Act of 1990 being signed into law. Simple math here tells me calculating the total number of employment-based visas made available for each fiscal year and subtracting the total number of visas issued during each fiscal year would give us the remaining number of unused visas that would be allocated for the Healthcare Workforce Resilience Act. And wrapping up with the dependents, family members. In general, family members described in Section 203D of the Immigration and Nationality Act who are accompanying or following to join a principal beneficiary seeking admission under this subsection shall be entitled to an unreserved visa in the same status and in the same order of consideration as such principal beneficiary. Exempt from skill-based numerical limitation. Visas described in Clause I shall be made available from the pool of recaptured unused immigrant visas calculated under subparagraph A and shall not be counted against the total number of immigrant visas reserved for professional nurses and physicians under paragraph. Here's the key provision for family members. Quote, shall be entitled to unreserved visa in the same status. While the plan would be to utilize the recaptured unused visas, the number issued to family members would not account against the total allotment for nurses and physicians. A couple of points I find interesting surrounding S3599. One, the bill was introduced and sponsored by Senator Perdue, who previously held a block on S386 until the language surrounding per country quotas was amended. A quick side note on Senator Perdue. He is involved in a hotly contested Senate race with Democratic nominee John Ossoff. Senator Perdue is also accused of selling and buying stocks based on a confidential briefing surrounding COVID-19 back in March. His seat is one of the 30-plus Senate seats up for grabs on November 3rd. And second, similar language creating an entirely new status for nurses and physicians was included in House Bill 6800, the HEROES Act 2, referring to the EAD as the EAD with a COVID-19 designation. While this channel primarily covers employment-based immigration preferences in the technology space, we would be remiss if we did not cover the thousands of medical professionals working under the H-1B designation. I am a proponent for removing medical professionals from under the H-1B visa and creating an entirely new status. Look for more discussion around the H-1B medical professionals next Wednesday night, October the 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern on the H1B Guy Live Stamp It Out Q&A 3, where I will be joined by @wolf_dog. For the full post, please check out the h1bguy.com. Tomorrow, we'll cover the H1B Guy news for the week ending October 9th, 2020. If you haven't already, I'd like to ask you to please like this video, please subscribe to the H1B Guy channel here on YouTube, and click the bell for notifications so that you're notified anytime a new post goes up here on this channel. If you've made it this far, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to watch my content. I really appreciate your support. The H1B Guy, your global source for all things H1B.